Hoi, small fry! It's Josh again. Welcome back to The Legend of Zelda, The Wind Waker HD. In the last episode, we cleared off the 5th row of the Great Sea chart by getting one more Triforce chart and one more Triforce shard. We went to our own private cabana to get one of the shards. We got help from a seagull to get a Triforce chart. Got all the Triforce chart deciphered by Tingle at Tingle Island. And we did a couple of things at the Forest Haven. So in this episode, you're probably wondering where the heck I am in the Great Sea right now. Well, I'm actually in the bottom right of the sea chart. I am at 5-Star Isles, which kind of looks like the constellation Cassiopeia.
The adventure continues!
Have you seen it, small fry? The ghost ship.
Nope.
Because it's real. It's even been seen here in these very waters. On nights when the crescent moon faces down, that's when the horror rises. So yes, more information on the ghost ship. So anyway, since I am here at 5-Star Isles, I know I'm kind of getting a little bit sidetracked going directly to the bottom row. There is actually a submarine near this island, and I want to take care of what's in that submarine. Yes, over here is the submarine. We all live in a brown submarine, a wooden submarine, a bokoblin submarine. Okay. Oh, we also got some keys. Steal your joy pendant. And now you die. And for defeating all the enemies in the submarine, that ladder will drop down. Thankfully, that was one of the easiest submarines to clear. And then going in here, there's the treasure chest. And inside you will get a piece of art! And that's pretty much all you can do here at this bottom right corner of the map. So now that that's done, we're going to sail 1 square west of here to go to the next island. Alright, so coming up on this square is 1 square south of the Forest Haven, and 1 square west of 5-Star Isles. This is the boating course. Yeah, basically on this little island you can do like a little boat minigame where you try to race through in a certain amount of time. And he's telling you some info I've already taught you about with your boat. So anyway, we're gonna head over here to this island. And a guy from Windfall is actually running it. He's one of the bigger guys. Yeah, that's him over there that runs the boating course. Even though you don't really get much of a reward for beating his little minigame. So what instead we're going to do is play the Wind's Requiem on top of this rock. Change the wind direction to the north. And then we're going to use our Deku Leaf to float to the other side. So if we go over there, there's a hole you can go down. Inside, we have a little bit of a puzzle along with some mini blends. So I want to get out my boomerang without getting hit by these guys. So what you have to do is you have to hit all the switches around the room without getting hit by mini blends. Okay, so 1. Come on. Lock on. 2. 3. And boom. What? Oh, maybe it's lowest to highest. 1, 2. Ow. There we go. And when you hit all the switches, a treasure chest will appear. Just kind of funny how those mini blends are just like staring at me again. This submarine chart. So with this, you know where the enemy submarines are in the Great Sea. And I think knowing where I've been, I believe there is still one submarine that I have missed. And it is actually on this bottom row somewhere. But we'll be getting to that later on. So what we're actually going to do is sail one more square west of here to continue our journey trying to fill in the Great Sea chart. Alright, so coming up on this square is one square west of the boating course. It's one square southwest of the Forest Haven. This is Angular Isles. And they call it that because of its square angular shape. Yeah, he's telling you about the Firefly that you can get to get the deluxe Picto box for the GameCube version of this game. But if you're playing the HD version, you don't need that. If you do try to do it, he just gives you a joy pendant. Or Lenzo does, back on Windfall, because that's the one who wants the Firefly. Sorry for that, some reason my capture card cut out. Come on, get up there. So if you go up to this island, you'll notice it's kind of a little bit of a block puzzle. Pull this one out slightly so you can climb up. Then push this block so that falls down. Then take this block and pull it to the end of its track. When you do, climb up it. Pull this block slightly out so that you can climb up. And there's a treasure chest at the top, as well as a blue choo-choo. Thank you. Oh, trying not to fall off. I got the blue chew jelly from him, so I'm just gonna go ahead and get rid of him. But anyway, for making it to the top of this island, in this treasure chest, you will get a piece of heart. And then one other thing you can do is you can actually use your Deku Leaf. First I need to play the Wind's Requiem so that the wind's blowing the right way. Change the wind direction to the east. Use your Deku Leaf to float across, or you can just use your hook shot to get across. Go down the hole. And inside you will see yet another block puzzle that you can do. So to solve this block puzzle, take this block, pull it out all the way to the other side, push it like right about there, pull this block out slightly, then pull this block a little bit away, pull this block out a little more, that makes the tower fall a bit. Pull this block out slightly. Basically, they're kind of like forming a little staircase here. Pull this block out slightly. And then climb all the way to the top, where these beams of light are. Then get out your mirror shield. And then shine it on this treasure chest down here. And then you use your Deku Leaf to float across. And in this treasure chest, you will get a silver rupee, worth a whopping 200. It's time to jump for joy. So yeah, that's a good money reward for solving that block puzzle. So yeah, that's pretty much all you can do near these angular isles. So now we're going to sail one square west of here to another eye reef, kind of like we dealt with back in the middle row of the Great Sea, where we dealt with 3 of them. Watch out for Bjorgs. So now we're going to go back over here to Two-Eye Reef, because the only reason we went here before is to take care of the giant Octorok that was imprisoning the Grey Fairy. But what we're now going to do is actually go inside Two-Eye Reef and take out all the cannons and cannon ships, so that we can try to get another treasure chart. Alright, so go ahead and cruise on in here. Get out the cannon and start getting ready to fire away. That's that one down. Okay, let's try to sink this can ship. There we go. There's another one on the other side. Take care of that cannon. Oh wait, I think I missed a cannon over here. Yep, there's another cannon. Oop, come on. Take care of that one. And that's all the cannons on this island, on this reef. So that makes the treasure chest appear. A little bit of magic. Oh! Crap! And sail it over. And then open this treasure chest, and you will get the same thing you get at the other eye reefs, which is a treasure chart! Alright, so that just only leaves 5-eye reef left to clear, wherever it may be. Because I don't think we've discovered that one yet on the Great Sea chart. And then, I think it's over near the back of Headstone Island, like right over here. This is what the submarine is. And I believe this is the last submarine that I haven't gotten to yet. Let's go ahead and take care of this last submarine. And this one we got lots of rats. With bombs. Yes, we have bomber rats. Forget Bomberman, do bomber rats. Anyway, what you want to do is you want to get rid of all the rats in here. You gotta be careful without getting hit by the bombs. And somehow the rats are not getting hit by the bombs, and I don't know why. You also gotta be careful because some of your weapons can also set off the bomb flowers. So I'm mostly just using my boomerang. That way I can just like lock on and hit them. And I believe that is all the rats. And for defeating all the rats in this submarine, there is another treasure chest. There's also a red rupee over here. Okay, and then going to get this treasure chest, you will get another treasure chart! And then before we head back outside, there is actually one thing I didn't get to show back at Dragon Roost Cavern. And that is, if you spread some bait near the rat's nest... Oh, maybe it's because I killed all the rats that didn't do it. But anyway, now that that submarine is out of the way, next we are going to head... Actually, I can go ahead and play the Ballad of the Gales. Oh, play the song right. And I'm going to warp back to Outset Island. Alright, so now that we are back here at Outset Island, now that we have the fully powered Master Sword, there are actually 3 more things that I've kind of missed out on here. Although one of them being required. And 2 of them are for pieces of heart. But first I want to go ahead and deal with these enemies. So there is actually a piece of heart buried in the ground somewhere on Outset Island. But in order to get to it, you will need the help of this giant pig here. And now that you have the power bracelets, you can pick him up. First you want to throw him down here. He doesn't really mind it if you like pick him up and throw him. It's when you attack him that's when he starts getting hostile. So, since we have the power bracelets, we're going to need his help. So we're going to need to carry him all the way across this bridge. Stop whining or I'm going to throw you in the water. Alright, so let's go ahead and throw him near this mud patch over here. And then if you spread the bait over here near him, He will eat the bait and dig up. Da 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 da! A piece of heart! Alright, and that is heart container number 16. Thank you, Big Piggy. And now that that's out of the way, we're actually going to do the thing that's required on Outset Island. Believe it or not, one of the Triforce shards is here, on the island where Link was born, on Outset. But where is it, you ask? Well, to get to it, you're going to need your Deku Leaf. And also your power bracelets. Get out our Deku Leaf. And start flying. Oh crap, I may not have enough magic power to make it. Anyway, you will see over there, there is another one of those giant stone heads. Kind of like on Headstone Island and Stonewatcher Island. What you want to do is use your Deku Leaf to float to that stone head. And now that you're here, use your power bracelets to pick it up and throw it away. And go down the hole. And down here is where you will find the next Triforce shard. But to get to it, you're going to have to go through the hardest enemy gauntlet in the entire game, which they call the Savage Labyrinth. Deep in the never-ending darkness, the golden shard you seek awaits. Or a better nickname that I call this is the Pit of 50 Trials. Although, the game only requires you to beat 30 of them in order to get the Triforce shard. However, if you beat all 50, you will get another reward. So let's go ahead and get started. And for every 10 floors you clear, they give you kind of a little bit of a rest area. Give you some recovery hearts, give you some rupees, a couple of other recovery items. And there's also a little light if you want to quit. But we still got 20 more floors to go in order to get the golden shard, or the Triforce shard. now we've reached at least 20 floors. And then a ton of rupees. Okay, got 10 more floors to clear before we get to the Triforce Shard. Now we've made it to the floor where the Triforce Shard lies. So just like with most of the other ones, you gotta play the Wind's Requiem in the circle. And there's your next treasure chest. Inside is... your fourth Triforce Shard! I believe this is the very bottom of the triangle. So we now officially have half of the Triforce Shards. We also get a lot more rubies, and there's another exit. In these pots you get some recovery hearts. A lot more rupees. So at least this way you earn back a few rupees that you spent from Tingle. You notice there's these beams of light here, and there's that giant statue. Well, shine the light on the statue, and guess what? Now you have 20 more floors to try to clear.
Here we go again.
And we made it to another rest floor. I think in this one you get like a ton of rupees. Like a real ton of rupees. Yeah, look at all that. It's like rupees galore. Alright, just 10 more floors to clear. And from clearing all 50 floors of the Savage Labyrinth, or as I call it, the Pit of 50 Trials, you will get the Hero's Charm! So yes, I lied. The Hero's Charm is actually in this game. It was just replaced with a, I think it was a treasure chart that was down here, but I think they switched it out. Like, originally in the GameCube version, you get it from Miss Mary, the teacher, from giving her 40 joy pendants, but instead, in the HD version, you get it here at the bottom of the Savage Labyrinth. Now that we've gotten both, so also with the Hero's Charm, it will allow you, if you wear it, you will be able to see the life force of your enemies. Like, you'll be able to see health bars above them, including against bosses. So anyway, now that we have cleared out the Savage Labyrinth and found another Triforce Shard, as well as the Hero's Charm, I think this is a good place to end this off here. So, next time on The Legend of Zelda, The Wind Waker HD, we are going to explore the southwest of the Great Sea, fill out the last 3 squares we haven't filled out yet, and try to find the last of the Triforce Shards. See you guys on the water side.